guys, welcome to another Q&A video. So this is gonna be just a chill Q&A video where you watch me yap for the next, I don't know, I hope it's not too long, we'll see. Maybe it can feel like we're on FaceTime or something. Last night I posted this on my Instagram story asking you to give me some questions for this video. I specifically asked for you to not give me all study abroad related questions, which I know it is very valid if you ask me those questions because a lot of my contents are about that, but I also want like just some fun, light and chill questions. So thank you so much for giving me that. Let's get straight into it. I am actually gonna start with the most asked question. I got like at least 3 that I can see right now that are asking the same thing, which is my plans after graduation. And it is something that I've been frequently asked, not only from you, but like from the people around me, obviously, because I'm graduating so soon. The put together answer would be, I'm going back to Indonesia. If you haven't already known, I have a small business there. I've showed it on some of my videos from back when I was in Indonesia. I have mentioned about it a few times, but I do realize that I haven't advertised it enough because of several things. In case you haven't known, again, I'm selling packaged sambal and I have like a distributor or like a reseller, and that is where kind of my steady income comes from. So I'm gonna go back and continue working on the business and hopefully grow it. And other than that, I also want to pursue the idea that I pitched like a few weeks ago here in Indonesia, and I'm kind of excited to bring that idea to life. But I'm not gonna lie, it's also very scary because there's a lot of uncertainty and risks with it, but I would like to think that it's actually a good idea, that I'm kind of scared about it. Of course, I'm gonna continue making YouTube videos, so I hope you guys stick around even though I'm not making uni related videos anymore. Yeah, that was the put together answer, but like on a real note, sometimes I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I just take it day by day and hopefully everything goes well. How do you deal with getting homesick? See, the thing is, I don't even remember if I've ever felt homesick. I just love living here so much, and I think it helps that I know that I'm not gonna live here forever, that I just want to make the most of it and focus on like being here, being present and enjoy my time here instead of thinking about home. Like, of course I miss my friends, I miss my family, but I'm gonna see them soon. I think I'm just grateful that I've gotten like really good experiences here, that I barely miss home, you know? But if I miss my family and friends, I just call them like whenever. I FaceTime my friends and family all the time anyway, so that's been really helpful. I also text them literally every single day, just updating them on my life, even like the most unimportant things I tell them anyway. Do you mind sharing how you maintain professionalism? I'm not sure how to answer this because I feel like I'm too unserious to give you advice about professionalism. I think you just like have to know when. I don't know. I really don't know how to answer this, but I think you can just tell the difference in situations when you need to be more professional. You need to reflect your professionalism on everything. It's the way that you talk, the words that you choose, your body language, the way that you dress. But I think being professional doesn't mean that you need to sacrifice who you really are. Like, it's still important to show your real personality. So like, you have to fake it a little bit, but don't fake it too much. This is why probably I asked you to give me like lighter questions and more unserious questions too, but I hope there's still some like helpful thing along the lines of what I just said. What are the snacks that you discovered in Australia and you fully become obsessed with? Let me show you. This is my favorite snack that I found here. It's called Pods and I love the one with Mars. They actually have one with Twix and Snickers, but I love this one the most. If I haven't eaten this in some time, I would crave for this. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit pricey for just a package of a snack, so I always wait to get this when it goes on sale. And last week it was half price, so I got 2 of these. Even though I'm obsessed with this, I'm not entirely a snacky person, so I don't really get this as often as it seems. And when I have this stocked in my room, I have the urge to eat this all the time, so I try to avoid that because that's just unhealthy. But yeah, this is my favorite. But other than this, I also like potato chips, so I like Red Rock's Deli. But I actually love, I don't remember the brand name, but I love the potato chips that I can only find in Aldi, and it has a truffle flavor. But considering that it's a truffle flavor, it is very cheap. You know what, I'm gonna have a little bit of this. Oh my god, so good. What is your motivation or mindset that make you feel better in difficult times? I hope this doesn't sound cringy or overused. And I know it's hard, like it's easier said than done, but I just try to focus on the good things that I currently have instead of just thinking about the difficulties that I experience now. Like even it also helps me to talk to my friends and family to just sort it out and help me look past the difficulties and practice gratitude, I guess. Like sometimes I would just reflect and be grateful about the problem that I'm experiencing, because I could be experiencing harder or like more difficult problems, but instead this is all I'm facing and I can get through it. But yeah, that's just me personally. I know that a lot of people do it or like see problems in different ways. If you can't relate to how I see things, that is totally valid too. What's the best place to enjoy the sunset? In Melbourne. This is probably the most common answer that you will get, but a lot of people say that Point Ormond Lookout is the best sunset spot in Melbourne, and I have to agree. Like you get to see a little bit of the ocean, you get a view of the city, the sun setting, plus the beautiful sky that starts to slowly turn orangey and pinkish. Like it's perfect. I went there last year and I thought I have to go back there before I move back to Indonesia, and I just did, and I probably will go just one more time. Oh, what kind of music do you listen to? Like K-pop, pop, and who is your bias slash crush among those singers? I love this question. So no, I don't listen to K-pop. I used to when I was in middle school, but not anymore. I have two sides when it comes to music. I love bands like the kind of pop rock, indie, alternative, pop punk sounding bands. I have to say, I am still very much obsessed with 5 Seconds of Summer. I got into them when I was in high school and I never got out of that phase. This is kind of unexpected, even like for the people around me, but my crush in 5 Sauce is Michael Clifford. When I say crush, I tend to like artists not solely from their appearance. Like, of course, to a certain amount I'm attracted to their appearance, but I usually consider them as my crush when I like their personality or whatever is portrayed in public. Especially when it comes to artists, I like to appreciate their art side too, and not just their personality or appearances. So yeah, like Michael Clifford, he is the guitarist of 5 Sauce, but he's also the producer, and he also usually like manages the production works of their tours, and I think that's just really cool. I'm not even done with this question. Okay, I'm just gonna check my Spotify stats. I've been listening to a whole lot of Wallows lately. I love Inhaler, one of my favorite bands of all time too. Surprisingly for my friends too, I love listening to Måneskin, which is an Italian rock band. I listen to Arctic Monkeys. I've been listening to a lot of Fontaine's DC lately, Nothing But Thieves. So yeah, you get the point, I think. But my other side is what people on the internet often call as white girl music type, because I love Sabrina Carpenter. I still listen to Taylor Swift, Madison Beer, Gracie Abrams, Olivia Rodrigo, Tate McRae. So yeah. Tips on choosing a major for uni. I think it only comes down to two things: which one you actually would enjoy learning and pursuing, because it's not just about what you're studying for the span of a few years, but it also gonna like set the direction of your career, which a lot of people actually change directions after graduation, which is completely fine, but it would be much better if you actually pursue the career that you learned in uni. So yeah, think of those two things. What do you like and what do you think you can pursue after graduation? And I'm not just talking about something that you enjoy for a long time after graduation, but it is something that has the potential to actually be a good career for you, like both mentally and financially. I'd say another tip is just talk to as much people as you can and get their insights, like the people that their opinions you value. It can be friends, it can be family, it can be your teachers, counselors. Okay, the next question is about how did I learn English? Did I learn it by myself, or did I join like courses? And the tips to be able to speak English fluently. I started learning English when I was in kindergarten. I was literally 4 years old. I think I've told this story, but so everyone in my family, I feel like they imprinted this in my brain when I was very young, that English is so important. It will open like a lot of doors when you are older. So I thought it was like the main things that I need to learn in life when I was like 4. So yeah, I learned in courses in school, but I wasn't in like an English course for a long time. It was just like I was in one for 1 year and then I stopped, and then in 3rd grade I got back again for only only a few months and then I stopped. So mostly I think I actually learned it through like everyday experiences. Like every time I get a chance to speak English, I take it. I read in English, I watch and listen in English, and I think the more I practice it, the more I got better. And I think that is like the most important thing about learning a language, like any languages honestly. How do you cope with hardships to maintain prayers every day? See, I have to say, I am by no means a qualified person to like teach you about prayers. Like I'm still just trying to improve on my prayers personally, but from my experience, I just feel like I just always realize whenever I think my prayers haven't been in the best quality, or like I haven't prayed as much as I would like to, or like I used to, I feel more anxious, and I feel like I see problems in life to be harder than it actually is, to be more complicated than it actually is. And whenever I have been improving my prayers, I feel more at peace all the time. Like I have such a good mental health, so that's kind of how I see that, okay, I need to maintain a good quality of prayers throughout my daily life. That's all I can say for that. What is your favorite color? See, whenever someone asks me this question, I can't even answer this question simply like a normal person. Like I have to say, I like a specific shade of dusty brown with a hint of rose in it, which is literally just this color, but it's hard to explain. But lately I feel like that is not my favorite color anymore. Like I have been inclined to get everything in the shade of like a dark green, more like an army green or emerald green. So I guess that's my favorite color now. In Indonesia, which city do you live in? I live in Surabaya. Oh my god, I got a question about my favorite book boyfriend. I'd say my favorite book boyfriend is Nikolai Lantsov. He is from the Grisha verse. He was first introduced in the Shadow and Bone series as a side character, but then he was the main character for the King of Scars duology. I think he's very underrated actually. I just love his personality. I think he's very smart and like doesn't appear to be too romantic, but I kind of like his approach. And then other than Nikolai, I love Aaron Warner from the Shatter Me series. I think the thing about my like crush with Aaron Warner is that I think his personality is very similar to other book boyfriends that people tend to love. I think I'm just biased because a lot of people prefer the dark-haired main male characters, so we have more options for the darker-haired characters, whereas like Nikolai and Aaron Warner are both like portrayed as fit but not too bulky, and they're blonde, which is like most my crushes are that way. So and recently I just read The Inheritance Games, and Grayson Hawthorne is up on the list, which again, he's also blonde and he's giving the same energy as Aaron Warner. So what is the meaning of your name? So Rani itself from Maharani means queen, and then Ardina, well, apparently my parents got creative and they combined their names together and created Ardina. And actually I have a longer full name. I also have Dia Ratri, which Dia means daughter and Ratri means moon because I was born at night. So my full name, I think it was supposed to mean like my parents' daughter who was born at night, and I don't know, maybe the queen was supposed to mean like I will do great things. What is your favorite spot at Melbourne Uni? I think my favorite spot remains to be the older like area, like the south lawn. So there's this like huge lawn over there, which is very relaxing, especially on good weather days. And thanks to Ava, she always dragged me out of my room or like dragged me out of the building to study or like work on assignments with her outdoors at that area. And there's this clock tower and the area with like the older buildings, which I really love. And it was actually the first thing that I was looking forward to when I visited Melbourne Uni when I had just gotten here, and it remains to be my favorite. What is your biggest lesson in life, and what happened until you learned that thing? Oh, I'll just open my notes app because like whenever I got an epiphany on life lessons, I put it here. Okay, I think this is one of the most interesting thing that I learned. Just like the title, I wrote it down as things that I needed to experience myself to actually understand, and it is that the journey of discovering yourself is never ending and it isn't linear. Just because you change and feel more like yourself doesn't mean the previous version wasn't truly you, but sometimes I can't tell the difference in moments whether I'm losing myself or finding my true self. It sounds deeper than I actually am, but I think the thing about being in my 20s that sometimes I look back and I saw myself as a completely different person, person. And the thing is, sometimes I see much older people and I see that they're still constantly trying to discover themselves too. So, and I think the thing about this is that it also impacts your relationship with the people around you. Like at one point you could be a very good friend with someone because your personalities just match, but like even though you grow up together, you're also growing up individually, and sometimes the people that you both grow up to be, they don't match anymore. And I actually experienced this, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean that the people who you used to be weren't the real you. You just grow up, I guess. Can you speak another language? No, I only speak Indonesian and English, but I did learn a lot of languages growing up. In school, I learned Japanese, French, German, and during COVID, I learned Spanish, but I can't speak any of those languages. I'm gonna end this Q&A with this easy question that is intriguing for me because someone asked me what are my current faves. I'm gonna pick random things, but my current favorite songs are, these are the songs that I currently play on loop and I just can't stop listening to them. But I like two songs from Wallows, Just Like a Movie and A Warning, Starburster by Fontaine's DC, and Falling by Chase Atlantic. TV show, I have been obsessed with Outer Banks. Like I have been watching Outer Banks since the first season, but they just released the fourth one and now I just want to rewatch everything. I have mixed feelings about it, by the way. Like it's not like I consider Outer Banks to be perfect, but yeah, obsessed with Outer Banks and Drew Starkey. And then it's not the book that I'm currently reading, but I still think that The Inheritance Games is so good and I wish I could read it for the first time, but that's not possible. Yeah, I guess that is everything that I can answer in this video. So thank you so much for sending the question. If you're still here, thank you so much for not getting tired of listening to me yap in front of the camera once again. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on my next vlog, which I think will be posted next week. Bye!